I will confess to something. The history of the Philippines has really captured my imagination. The more of this country's history I encounter, the more fascinated I become with it. Me and Tony have discovered so much of the history about the Philippines, such as the Plaza Cartel in Puerto Princesa, an American POW prison from World War II, and the history behind Cagsawa ruins, the tragic destruction as a result of a massive eruption of the Mayon volcano in 1814. And today, we get to explore the history of Yap Sandiego Ancestral House. This is a remarkable historical treasure that provides a glimpse into the rich cultural history and heritage of the region. Join us today as we explore this fascinating piece of Philippines history. We will show you what life was like 200 years ago in the city of Cebu. We will explore the architectural and artistic traditions of its time and see how generations of families have played a significant role in the development of Cebu City. All that and more is coming up next on Itstonybaby. So we are on our second day of doing a tour around Cebu, and our first stop is the Ancestral House. Now I don't know what this is. Explain to me what the Ancestral House is, honey.
Well, ancestral house meaning it's an old house, and according to what it says here, it's a house of woods and coral stone.
So it's like a traditional way they built houses.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back then, this was a mansion.
It was a mansion.
This was owned by Don Juan Yap and Maria Floreta. So this is a very old house. This was handed down to noted 1800s.
This is built in
1888.
1800. This is a 200-year-old house.
Yeah.
Over 200 years old.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, we gotta go check this place out. This is a house that was pretty much a party house for the most part, because there was lots of people that were always partying, and Tony's gonna demonstrate how that would happen.
This is what you call Sinulog, the famous festival here in Cebu.
Yeah, that's something I still want to see. I've never been to the Sinulog here in Cebu, so that's something famous that, of course, people have done lots of vlogs on it, but we've never experienced it for ourselves.
Very, very, very old house.
It is, isn't it?
Back in the old days, families, Filipinos are very dedicated with Catholic, what do you call it? We're very religious. You can see that.
Catholic religion?
Yeah,
Yep.
you can see that in all their houses, so many things.
And where did the
That's
Catholic religion come from?
Spanish.
Yes, interesting connection. And again, the Spanish influence ever so present in the history of the Philippines, even in their art, in their culture, and everything. So now we've seen the basement of the house. Let's go check out the main floor. What is this?
Jewelry, you know, like back in the old days, during Lapu-Lapu days, you know, a soldier wears some stuff like jewelries and stuff.
Yeah, it's daggers by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, for a 400-year-old house, you can see the beauty in the house. It's incredibly charming. The wood floors are uneven, but beautiful looking, and you've got huge beams up in the ceiling here that hold the roof up. I mean, it's obviously not air conditioned, so I mean, you've got lots of windows to allow for airflow through the building. And artistically, it is incredibly beautiful. There's art on the walls. There is lots of decorations, and what's that?
The house is not just old, but what you see inside, like all these materials, appliances, stuffs here are also old. Do you know what's this?
A soup bowl?
No, this is an iron.
That's a what?
An iron.
Really?
So back in the days when there's no iron, what they put is they put something hot here, like charcoal, and they do like this.
Really? You know what, honey? My shirt needs some ironing.
You don't want
You
it.
can,
It's so heavy. And that's how they do old iron.
So this is obviously the main entertainment room. This is this room that looks out onto the street, and it's a lot more brighter in here because there's a lot more windows. So yeah, this was presumably where all the entertainment took place.
This is a urn.
An urn? You mean like somebody's ashes?
Yeah.
How do you know all this stuff?
I love history.
That's cool. And you know what? I believe it. It looks like an urn. Let's see if anybody's in there.
Yeah. Don't touch it. It creeps me out. That's why there are candles inside, because it's a Chinese culture too. It's like a mix of the Chinese Filipino culture.
Yeah, I was going to say there is a lot of Chinese influence. I was just looking at that picture over here that shows the Chinese dragon, celebrating the Chinese dragon. That is an old radio, like a very, very old radio.
So they can get signals from around the world.
Really?
Look, oh, they have Montala, Kalumborg, Luxembourg.
I don't know how old shortwave is, but maybe. Possibly?
This is not a radio. This is like a
shortwave radio.
Yeah. Radio.
So do you think this was like a high-end elite house, or
it is, because
like back in its day? Do you think it was the owner was like
it's a don, meaning it's a mansion back in the day.
Yeah. So back 400 years ago, this was the lap of luxury. This was high-end living. So literally right across the street from the Ancestral House, which is right, like pointing in the right direction, right there, is, what is this called?
The Magellan Shrine.
The Magellan Shrine. It looks like it's a shrine to like the Spanish coming over.
Yeah, exactly. Where Magellan, come to Philippines, and that's the boat, and that's the Magellan cross there.
Wow.
And then that's Magellan, obviously.
Wow, and this thing's huge, huge. We're going to show you what this thing looks like.
That's Lapu-Lapu.
For those who don't know, who is Lapu-Lapu?
Lapu-Lapu is a fish.
What?
No, Lapu-Lapu is one of the heroes in the Philippines who fought Magellan in Cebu.
So they fought the Spanish?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Basically, this shrine tells you how Lapu-Lapu fought Magellan.
And who won?
Lapu-Lapu.
Oh, good. Good.
Actually, Magellan.
What?
Lapu-Lapu in the Philippines is a fish.
I think I did know that, yeah. Honestly, I don't know if you can really appreciate the detail in the craftsmanship of this monument. It's huge. When you look at it, it's just incredibly detailed, and every time you look at it again, you see something you just didn't really notice before, and it's incredibly detailed. Really, really impressive. Something amazing to see here in Cebu. And with that, our tour of the Ancestral House and Magellan Shrine was over. But our day wasn't done yet. Join us next week as we get a personal tour of Fort San Pedro, one of the first and oldest Spanish forts in the Philippines. And remember, life is an adventure.